talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33, and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay!
Now as the record spins around, you recognize this sound, well it's the underground. You know that we're down with what you like, with what you like.
And though we're usually on a serious tip, check it out. Tonight we're gonna flip and trip and let it all hang out tonight. We're gonna say what we like.
Cause yo, we wanna know how many people in the flow would like to just let yourselves go and do what you like. Yeah, what's tonight's your night? Just eat food, try not to be crude or rude. Kill the attitude, chill the serious mood and do what you like. And do what you like. Everybody do what you like.
I see guys and girls dancing.
Yeah, do what you like.
I see guys and girls dancing.
Yo, do what you like. You know what I'm saying?
I see guys and girls
Whatever you like to do, talk how you like.
I see guys and girls dancing.
Now just act a fool.
All right, Andy, I wouldn't call this a Black Marriage Monday song, but thank you for reminding me that it is Shock G's B-Day. Happy solar return, happy heavenly birthday to a real one. Yeah, Shock G, Digital Underground's really kind of brainchild. I mean, that was his brainchild, Digital Underground, and he was the driving force behind that. Definitely gone too soon. Rest in peace, Shock G. Greg was a real one for sure. He meant that. Do what you like. That wasn't just Humpty. He meant that. IRL. But it is a Black Marriage Monday. And maybe that is the secret to a healthy marriage. I don't know. We're being joined by a professor of law at the Stanford Law School, a professor by courtesy at the Stanford Graduate School of Education. This day we're talking relationships. He's also an expert in that field, has written on the field. I call it Black Marriage Monday because I just want to remind us to tap in, but everybody's welcome. I want us to remind us to tap in and make sure that we know that we are going to be spending time on this topic of relationships, love, marriage. So welcome back to the show, Rick Banks.
Thank you, Dominique. It's so good to be with you, and you're really taking me back with the Humpty there.
Yeah. So is do what you like, is that a formula for a happy marriage?
That is definitely not a formula for a happy marriage. And even more, I don't know if it's a formula for a happy life either, you know? Frankly, you need to have some times where you do what you like, but you need to have other times where you're thinking about other people and what they may like.
Okay. Well, your book, Is Marriage Just for White People, is kind of, it's a controversial topic. I know you did, I know you did that to get people talking, to get people thinking. But that is sort of a stereotype. And I think it's one of the reasons why I named this Black Marriage Monday, because we talk a lot about not only the perception that white folks are more likely to get married and stay married, but this idea that marriage in the African American community has been on the decline.
Right. Yeah, this is great. I don't know if you remember, but more than a decade ago when that book came out, Is Marriage for White People, we did a session. I think we did a session in studio.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. You were great, and we had a lot of great debate, a lot of great callers. And I think the issues are even more pressing now. The underlying issue, though, just to be clear, it's not really marriage per se. The real issue is that the biggest and most important decision anyone can make in their life, the single most important decision, is who to partner with. most important decision in life. It will shape your life. It will shape the generations that follow. And it's probably a better thing to have a partner than to not have a partner.
So when you say who to partner with, you're talking about in marriage, in business, in living together, in anything.
I mean, in your intimate, frankly, because that's the foundation of life, right? Your business partners can change across time. That all can shift. But once you decide to partner with someone, and once you have a child with them, you will never not have a relationship with them. They will always be connected to you, right? The relationship will change, but you will never not have the relationship. So the decision about who to partner with, who to have children with, single most important decision in your life, which has, far-reaching effects, not only for you, but for your children, obviously. And I think that African Americans need to, this issue is kind of caught up in the culture wars where, some people are saying do what you like, other people are saying we need the traditional family. And we really need to move beyond that culture war struggle and just recognize that, hey, everybody wants to have somebody there with them. And everybody wants to have support. Everybody wants to give support. And so it's worthwhile thinking about how to do that in a way that is life-affirming for you and the other people in your life.
Yeah, I think that's right. Do you think we don't realize the gravity of that decision? In the Black community, we just, because some folks are baby by this one and baby by that one, or some folks are just, going based on, I don't know, just purely how someone looks or some kind of, Yeah, all that's bad. Yeah, so the first point is that, and this is for people generally, not just Black people, but everybody needs to understand that, again, most important decision you make in your life is who you decide to partner with, right? And that's because relationships are so central to who we are, to what we can aspire to what we can achieve, to our health, to everything. So you have to put a lot of energy into relationships. The older I get, the more important relationships become. And so if you can realize that early, that's a good thing. And so that's really the foundation. And that just takes a lot of thought. And I think the strategy for success there, frankly, is not what people think. Usually people think that the goal is to find someone who makes them happy. And that's always the wrong approach, because this other person is not going to make you happy. That for sure will not work. It won't. Here's the paradox, is that the better approach to finding a good partner and finding a good relationship is to actually find someone that you want to make happy. That's the paradox, right? You need to, and that means that you value them, you see something in them that you appreciate, you see things in them that you want to nurture, that you want to grow, that you want to contribute to, that you want to be more a part of the world. And if you really want to pour your soul into someone else, and hopefully they want to pour themselves into you, that at least gives you a chance of having a sustained long-term relationship. Yeah, there's some people who are just people pleasers. They want to make everybody they meet happy.
Well, that's another problem, right? That's another problem. No, that's another problem. That's another. It can't be. There has to be something distinctive about the person. That, and that's. That's another problem. If you want to make everyone happy, that's a therapy problem there, because that's not conducive to well-being either. But no, really, you should want to find somebody whose values you resonate with, whose aspirations you think are good aspirations in the world, who have ideas about life that you think are like good ideas, right? And good, they have a good approach, and there's something in them that like opens up your spirit and makes you want to bolster and nurture their spirit.
Yeah. So the other comment that you made that I wanted to follow up with is this idea that we need to move beyond the culture wars, and it's a two-side question. On the one hand, I feel like a lot of that stuff is very online. I read that, Black men and women hate each other, and then I go to parties and I see people hugged up, cuddled up, living together, married. Is it on? You think it's also very online?
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, this is true not only around relationship issues. This is true about all sorts of issues. We make a great mistake, when we think that what happens online is real life.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that the extreme voices get amplified online.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have people from the far left and the far right. You have these people with all these extreme views, and they're fighting it out online. The worst thing you can do is to mistake that for people generally.
Right.
Because most people are not doing that. That's a small percentage of people who are engaged in that sort of stuff. Most people are just living their lives, trying to figure things out, trying to move ahead, trying to form good relationships, trying to make progress at work, trying to raise their children. They don't have time to be making, 50 posts a day.
Yeah, hello. And not only that, some of those people that are making those extreme posts are in a happy marriage where they do none of the things they say online.
Oh, yeah, there's a performativity to it.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah, people are trying to do things on. I mean, it's really, social media has a lot of great aspects, but it's also very corrosive. And you're identifying part of one of the ways in which it's corrosive is that it can kind of pull out the worst of people, right? And it has them doing things that they don't even believe because they want to get attention and get likes and so forth. And so we all need to have a balance in our lives. And I think real relationships are usually relationships that are in person with people, sitting across tables, looking at each other, touching each other, hugging each other. That's how that's how humans evolved, was to orient to touch and physical presence. So, we don't want to forget how important that is in our lives.
Talking with author, law professor Rick Banks. It's a Black Marriage Monday. You sound like my mama. She used to say, friends know where their friends live. She was talking about Facebook. Friends know where their friends live. We'll continue this conversation. Relationships. How do we get there? Black Marriage Monday on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Y'all ready for Gillette's best shave? Try Gillette Labs with 5 ultra-thin blades, a built-in exfoliating bar, a precision trimmer on the back for sharp lineups. Gillette Labs delivers that smooth shave. Plus, and check this out, with one refill, you'll get up to 30 shaves. And on average, the blades last 50% longer than Gillette Fusion. Got something special coming up and you gotta look good? Check out Gillette Labs, the best a man could get. Gillette Labs also available in heated.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you being here. I always do. And I'm talking with Professor Rick Banks. You're a law professor, but you've written a book which has become sort of a classic. And I guess I never really asked you that. What made a law professor write a book on black marriage? It's called Is Marriage for White People? How the African American Marriage Decline Affects Everyone.
Well, I teach a lot of courses, among them is family law, which has been one of my areas I focused on. And family law is just about all the things that happen within families and how the law regulates them, right? So that kind of took me to the marriage issue, and of course, there's always autobiography behind projects, and my own experiences, just realizing how important family is, because my mother died when I was 9 years old. She had cancer. Had 3 older sisters. My father, I was the last of the line, as they say. My father was 60 years old when she died, and it was only decades later that I realized that he never remarried, in part because he had children, and he wanted to keep his focus on the children and raising the children. And so that kind of just implanted within me the importance of family and how we, our commitments to families and to our children. And one of the things that I saw for this book in particular that really bothered me, that I thought was a problem, was that, a lot of times black women felt like they had to sacrifice their own happiness, basically, because they needed to be committed to sort of black men, both in the abstract and also in their own lives, and that led to relationships that were not the right relationships, frankly. And so I wanted to let black women know that sometimes you can, when you do the best for you, doing the best for the group can also be doing the best for you. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have good things in your life. You deserve to have men in your life that are, that invigorate you and enrich your life. And you shouldn't circumscribe your choices in that regard. So, that was a big point in the book too.
Yeah, so that might mean looking outside your own ethnic group, right?
Exactly. And this is frankly what people of other races do. Black men, I think that, again, the biggest decision that you make in your life is who you decide to partner with, have children with. And it's hard for a lot of reasons in our society, right? To find a good relationship, the person that's right for you, and to make it work. It's really hard to do it. Why make it harder by trying to limit yourself to, people of one race, right? Or one group. And, most people now are actually open to dating or marrying people from, various backgrounds. And, black women for a long time were the exception to that.
I think it's still mostly true, to be honest with you. Most of my friends, most of the women that I know, even the ones that say they're going to date outside their race, mostly, or ethnic group, mostly they don't.
Yeah. Well, I think things are changing now, though, I think. Even, think about the most prominent black women in the United States right now. The two that come to my mind, being a lawyer and law professor, are Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson. right? And they both have white husbands.
And they've been widely disparaged for it by both black men and women.
I don't think they should be. I don't think they should be disparaged at all.
I mean, whether they should be or not, they are. That's my point, is that I don't think it's changed that much.
Well, I think it's, again, I think it might be changing on the ground. You might have a lot of stuff on social media where there's a lot of hate out there, and a lot of people,
and on the radio,
criticizing other people. Yeah, but when you talk about people in their actual lives, the reality is that, we live in a society where, people are in workplaces, they're in social settings where you are meeting people of different races. And I think there are a lot of black women, frankly, right now who are realizing that, hey, even though I might have started thinking, I have to be with the black guy, now I'm realizing, well, maybe I don't have to be with a black guy. There are a lot of other guys out there. There are, not only white guys, but you got a lot of Latinos and you have Middle Eastern men. You have men from all kind of different backgrounds. And, sometimes I might have commonality with them. And I think there are a lot of women who are starting to realize that. And I think that's a good thing, right? If it's something that, if you can find someone you can love and be happy with, you should do that. You should not reject them or bypass them because of their race or their religion or their background or because some of your aunties or uncles might not like it, right? You shouldn't do that.
Or religion, really. You think, because that seems like it could be more of an issue, right? If you guys have different faiths.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, it could be. And all in all, I mean, again, these are these are complicated decisions. And, there could be, if you are a devout, Catholic and other person is a very devout, Jewish person, that could be a conflict, right? Because you need to think about how you're going to raise the children, right? So, you need to work all those issues out. This is not to say that those issues are not important, but it is to say that you shouldn't give race this, overriding importance and make that kind of more important than everything else, and then, discount all the other aspects of compatibility. And, religion is one of those aspects of compatibility, too. If one person is really secular and the other person is really religious, no matter what the religion is, that could be an issue in a relationship and in a family. So, you need to think about that, too. And I will say, one of the things that people can easily undervalue is the importance of having a common view of how to raise children. Right. Yeah. And it's easy to undervalue that because before you have children, you don't think about it.
Right.
Once you have the children, you realize that you all might have completely different visions about what should happen with these children. And, that obviously can be a source of conflict that can drive people apart. So, again, this goes back to having shared values. You need to have some shared values and visions of life and kind of how to be in the world. But if you have that's a good foundation. And, having that doesn't necessarily mean that you are of the same race or even of the same religion.
Kids, money, and sex. I think those are the three main things people forget to talk about before they get married that can end up making them not stay married.
This is true. I remember an old man told me years ago, I was dating his daughter, in fact. We didn't get married. I was dating his daughter, and he told me, if you and my daughter stay together and get married, I want to let you know that you're going to argue about two things. He said money and sex, and you're going to argue about them in that order. And I think, in fact, he was correct. No, he was correct. People have a lot of emotions and a lot of buried emotions about money and sex. And, people have a lot of shame in some ways about money and sex. And it's hard to talk about both of those topics. So, and again, in relationships, it's better to be able to talk more rather than less. You need to have a sense of vulnerability and a sense of, so you can be open to each other and you can talk about things where you might feel a tinge of shame or you might otherwise not be inclined to share.
We know we started off talking about online, and the follow-up question we didn't quite get to. We've got 2 minutes here before news, traffic, and sports. Is how do we move past that? The superficial, the comparative, because everyone always makes their thing look perfect online. How do we move past that to They're real issues of connection.
Yeah, well, I think people, people really connect, frankly, despite what online may tell us, not when they're talking about how great their lives are and all their accomplishments and so forth. People connect when they show their vulnerability, right? When you share with each other the things you worry about or the things that you hope for but you're not sure will happen. When you talk about disappointments, you talk about failures, and when the other person can listen, right? When you have a curiosity about each other, so you want to understand this other person and they want to understand you. That's where the connection comes from, and that's where you can see if you have the same values. So, I would just encourage people to try to, be open to sharing yourself so that you can form that connection. And as you say, you can't do that online. This needs to happen in person, real life, when you're physically together.
So does that mean the dating apps are out?
Dating apps can be very helpful. They can help you, and some more than others, but they can help you sift through this huge number of people. And a lot of people, I'm sure we all know a lot of people who found good partners on dating apps.
Yep, one of my BFFs.
But the key is that the app is kind of a way to sift through a lot of people, but then the real work begins once you actually have the person in front of you, right? And now you have to see if this has the makings of a real relationship, and and it can be very rewarding, to have a good relationship, but it also takes time and it takes energy, and you can't always do what you like, but that's life.
Can't do what you like, Shock. Sorry. We'll continue our conversation with Rick Banks after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. New York City Mayor Eric Adams' team is distancing him from new corruption charges against former top aide Ingrid Lewis-Martin and Deputy Commissioner Jesse Hamilton. First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro says the mayor is not involved.
We're really talking about ancient history, conduct that doesn't implicate the mayor in any way.
Adams' office says he's not involved and stands by their presumption of innocence. The Supreme Court has cleared the way for the Trump administration to cancel over $783 million in NIH grants tied to diversity and gender identity. In a 5-4 ruling, conservative justices said lower courts overstepped. And Dr. Umar Johnson is under fire for offering private lunches to women in exchange for $500 donations to his school. Critics call the fundraiser exploitative and out of touch. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Santa Clarita, we have eyes on a wreck blocking the second lane from the left on the 14 southbound after Newhall Avenue, and that's causing your drive to stack up from Sand Canyon Road. It looks like in Snowmar, there is still that vehicle fire on the 3 right lanes of the 5 southbound before the 405. So you're going to be hitting the brakes from the 14. And in Montebello, 60 eastbound after Wilcox Avenue, a stall's in that right lane. Expect slow and go traffic from the 710.
Celebrate Salvadoran Heritage Night at Dodger Stadium on August 26 versus the Reds and embrace vibrant Salvadoran culture. Enjoy pregame performances and secure a unique Salvadoran night jersey with a special ticket package. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotion.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers hit 4 home runs Sunday to crush San Diego 8-2. Freddie Freeman went deep twice. Shohei Ohtani and Ricky Dalton Rushing had the other 2. Mookie Betts also had a good day at the plate with 3 hits. Betts is batting .348 since August 5th. Sunday's win left the Dodgers and Padres tied for first place in the NL West with 31 games left in the regular season. The Angels were swept at home by the Chicago Cubs. They lost 4-3 to the Cubs on Sunday. The slumping Angels are now 8 games under .500 and start a 10-game road trip tonight at Texas. One of the top performances from the first weekend of the college football season was by an HBCU running back. North Carolina Central's Chris Mosley, a senior from Fort Worth, Texas, had 174 yards rushing and a touchdown on just 15 carries. Mosley helped North Carolina Central beat Southern University 31-14 in the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay! Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Hey!
How do you mend when your world's apart? Ooh, carry on. Ooh, from the start. Somehow we fell in love, then fell right out of touch. And ooh, that was hard. But ooh, here we are. And it's easier to walk away than to look for what would make you stay. Remember when we first met? We were having so much fun. So now how could we both forget? Telling each other we're the one. We would make love at the drop of a hat. Remember that? Yeah. I remember you and me, closest any two can be. Now we're strangers in the night, awkward and uptight. Oh baby, do you wanna make it better?
Talk 1580. We're talking with law professor Rick Banks on a Black Marriage Monday. His book is Marriage for White People. Put things in stark relief from an academic standpoint, but also a personal outlook based on conversations with a whole bunch of people. And when we talk about this marriage gap, that black people, not just black women, black people are less likely to get married. Black women, less likely than anybody, I believe, to actually be married over the course of our lifetime. It's not just because we're cursed, just because we're bad at marriage, or because we're all hoes. I mean, there's like socioeconomic, historical reasons for this too, right?
Yeah, the economic factors loom large, right? I mean, one of the, a big issue is that it used to be the case that, people would get married when they were young and, you didn't have any money, you didn't have much stability, but then you would kind of build it over time. And now that's kind of shifted so that people expect economic stability at the start of a marriage. That's kind of a requirement to get married. Kind of this old saying, no romance without finance.
Right.
And so now people is kind of no marriage without finance. And, African Americans are, despite advances, we are disproportionately economically disadvantaged, right, in terms of income, in terms of wealth, in terms of job security. And all of that makes it hard to maintain relationships because, as we mentioned earlier, one of the main things you will fight about will be money. And that tears a lot of relationships apart. But the paradox is that, or the irony maybe is that, not having a strong financial foundation makes it hard to get married and stay married and maintain a partnership. But then it's also true that if you can maintain that partnership and work together, that can provide a financial foundation, right? So you can move forward.
Right. That is ironic. Black women is that still true that black women are 3 times as likely as white women to never marry?
Well, it depends on how you calculate it. It's hard to, it's hard to predict the future. But yes, it has been the case that black women are uniquely unlikely to marry or to stay married. But it's also true that marriage rates have been declining in society generally, and those are issues. And the broader issue, just to be clear, is that you don't need to get fixated on marriage. The issue is really just partnerships.
Yeah.
Right. And it used to be the case that if people were in a partnership, they would get married. But now, sometimes you can have people who are actually in a committed partnership for a long time and they don't ever get married.
Like the Oprah Stedman model. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's okay too. My worry with African Americans is that, African Americans are in fact less likely to be partnered in stable relationships than other groups. And that's especially true for black women. And that is an issue, right? It's not generally what those people want, frankly, and it's not moving the race forward either, frankly.
It's not all about it's not all about love and or social interaction. Some of it is economics. And what about the historical impact of the fact that we had hundreds of years where we were being separated by the system, because we were actually property?
Yeah, no, this is true. Black people, this is, one of the horrific aspects of slavery was really the, destruction of the black family and the extent to which, you had white men, with power who exercised dominion over black people's most, intimate lives. And, that's one of the horrific aspects of slavery. One of the ironies, though, is that, if you look through the 1940s, 50s, 60s, African Americans were as likely to be married then as white people. There wasn't a marriage gap during that era. The relationship or the marriage gap really developed in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when you had the demise of a lot of the jobs on which black men depended. All the blue-collar jobs, the industrial jobs. As the economy changed, black people really got a bad deal. and and black men got a bad deal in particular, and then that affected black women.
Wow, that's fascinating. So the demise of those jobs, and then I would imagine the flooding of our community with first heroin and then crack did not help either.
That did not help, right? This is, I mean, you can think of the status of the relationships in part as a reflection of how healthy is the community, right? I mean, if people are doing well and they're able to form relationships, they're able to form families, they're able to stay together. But when people are not doing well, right? When you have drug problems and all that breeds, when people don't have jobs, they don't have stable employment, that just undermines the family and undermines relationships. And we have been the victims in a sense of these broad macroeconomic changes, which have made it very difficult for people to form families.
Let's go to Alegria calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning. You're on the air with Rick Banks. Welcome.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, Rick Banks. I'm calling because in the subject of interracial dating, in Los Angeles, it seems like that's very little of a problem. I see so many interracial relationships these days. Almost every new baby is half black that I see, and I honestly, when I see a couple, like I met a beautiful couple last night, and he introduced this beautiful brown woman, oh, it's my wife, and I want to say congratulations, like thank you for choosing black Americans. I do really, I think everybody deserves love and relationships, and I think there's so many non-melanated, alabaster men coming up on beautiful black women, which, great for great for everybody, sure. But I'm really hoping that black Americans begin choosing each other more, especially here in Los Angeles, choosing each other more, and we have more African descendant, brown, beautiful, kinky hair babies.
Alegria, you're black?
Half.
Oh, okay. You're.
My dad's Mexican. I'm black and Mexican. It's Corey, Dominique.
That's right.
I call that the California blend, Blaxican.
Yeah.
Exactly, totally. Which is
that's a wonderful
it's
comment.
fine, but in one generation it can be gone. You could be like, you could be half black, and then you procreate with somebody else, and your kids are barely black anymore.
Yeah, Mahomes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me just highlight one point there. Thanks for that comment. That's a wonderful comment. Just one. Actually, two points here. One is that, of course, it's a good thing, right, for black people to choose black people. I mean, my wife is African American. We grew up together in Cleveland in a neighborhood that was all black, so there weren't any white people around either, and that's a good thing, right? So I'm not saying that that's not something that is a positive, but it's also a positive for people just to find people who love them and they can love whatever the race. And the caller's right on that. These interracial relationships are more common in places like California because there's great regional variation. In California, interracial relationships are high because a lot of people come to California from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And when you leave home, you're more likely to do what it is you want to do rather than doing what your parents or your cousins or your aunties and uncles want you to do, which, might have happened had you stayed in the place where you were born. And, one of the big pressures to only marry within the group comes from your family, right?
Yeah.
And so for all sorts of relationships, we see people crossing boundaries once they move to a new place. Right? Then it might be racial boundaries, religious boundaries, it might be sexual orientation, right? There are all sorts of boundaries that people can cross when they come to California, and they're free to do what they want rather than when they're living up under their family and they feel the pressures of the family to try to do what the family wants them to do.
Yeah, great points. Thank you for the call. Did you want to say anything else?
No, thank you guys. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, great points, and they're on fire in the chat on YouTube at KBLA 1580. We're talking with Rick Banks. He's a law professor and the author of Is Marriage for White People? He's out of Stanford University. It's not too late to call us at 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Thinking about going electric? Now is the perfect time. Electric vehicles cost less to run, don't need gas, and need fewer repairs than gas-powered cars. You can also save with federal and state tax credits, and in some areas, qualify for rebates on home charging stations. To learn more, visit www.breathesocal.org. That's www.breathesocal.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima from the show First Things First, weekday mornings from 6 to 9. Join me tomorrow with jazz trumpeter Keon Harold. Plus, we'll have headlines, hot topics, and your phone calls. It's only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that for Bree's car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Bree's car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy for Breeze. La 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 la.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
As usual, it's going down in the chat room on KBLA Talk 1580. And I meant to say happy Kobe Day to you. That was yesterday, Kobe Day in LA. I hope y'all were celebrating as I was. We're talking with Rick Banks right now. He's the author of Is Marriage for White People? And you're right, we haven't talked for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure talking with you. The book, Is Marriage for White People, is an academic look at the situation with the marriage gap between black folks and others, but also a sort of a personal exploration of what is behind what's going on. Kwamel in the chat says, we're not going to talk about, I'm paraphrasing because I can't see his comment right now, we're not going to talk about how black men just bounce and don't consider black women, and how anti-blackness is a factor in the black marriage gap. Do you see that as being a factor?
Yeah, well, here's one of the places where anti-blackness comes in, frankly, that people don't focus on enough, is that, African Americans, we have a long history of colorism. And that just means that as a result of that, dark-skinned black women are disfavored by black men, and that's a real dynamic. And women have experienced this for generations. and it's something that still shapes relationships between black men and women. One of the ironies of the situation is that non-black men are probably less focused on complexion than black men are. So if you're a darker-skinned black woman, you might find more love, basically, among non-black men than you do among black men.
Interesting.
That's just the reality. And this is unfortunate. This is a bad thing. Colorism is a part of the legacy of racism and slavery. But as an individual, you can't change that whole legacy, but you can respond to it in ways that make it more likely that you can find happiness.
Hopefully that shadeism is changing. I've seen it and experienced it. One of my closest girlfriends is Real Chocolate. And those white boys, I mean, man, they chase her like crazy. They ain't even looking at me. So it maybe there is a different dynamic. Q from LA, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear sister. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind?
I didn't know. Just quickly, I don't know whether this has been discussed or not. My take on this issue is the fact that this is a promotion that has been perpetuated by Hollywood for such a long time. The notion that the darker you are, the harder it is for the camera to
because they need good lighting for melanated skin. They need good lighting.
Good lighting.
Yeah.
So they have perpetuated that. Today, if you look at all the commercials that we see, 80% are interracial couple, and this is what has been constantly being pounded into the heads of our people. And so some of our people, and most people that come to California wants to get into the industry. Yeah. And so what would they do? They would do what the industry wanted. What will make it easier for them?
Okay, so I'm almost out of time here, Q. What's your bottom line? Do you have a question or a bottom line for Rick Banks?
Yes, the bottom line is that Hollywood is the major problem about this interracial marriages. Why you see black men or black women moving away from our own race into other areas. Because when you're here and you wanted to go into that, and this constantly being pounded in your head by the commercial, these are the effects or the consequences why you see so many people moving away from our race.
Rick Banks, you agree? You think the Hollywood factor plays a role here?
Well, I think we have, of course, images matter. The stories that Hollywood tells matter. The stories that are told matters. But I don't think we should feel threatened by relationships that cross racial or other boundaries. I think we should welcome them. This is the world we live in, where it's normal and it's a good thing to have relationships of all types with people of other races or people from different backgrounds. That's what we need to make our society work, is more mixing. And there's no danger that the black race is going to disappear, right, or the African Americans are going to disappear because of interracial marriage. So, this is not a threat for us. It's actually an opportunity to try to go out in the world and form relationships with people of all races, especially in a place like L.A., where you have such a mix of people. Why would you want to deny yourself the opportunity to have relationships that could really help to enliven you and to enrich your life?
And plus, many times when you mix a black person with somebody else, you get a person, at least in our country, that's considered black, somebody that looks, acts, and functions in our community in a way that is entirely integrated with blackness.
And that's a good thing. And frankly, if you look at in Hollywood, if you think about the people who are in Hollywood, the black people in Hollywood, a lot of these black people are actually the children of mixed race couples. And it's not that they're not, active and, do things that are good for black people. They do, right? They can be as pro-black as you can imagine, even though their mother may have been white or their father may have been white.
Yeah, present company included. My mom was Italian, so there you have it.
There you go.
We rest our case.
Let me take that opportunity, Dominique, to really thank you. You've done such great work. I don't know if you get as many accolades as you should. You've done great work in the Southland for decades now. This is such a great program, and you have such great insights and perspective. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, I appreciate you. It's an honor, and it's great to talk with you once again. Tell us how to track you, if we can, on socials or wherever you be.
Well, I'm not on social that much right now, but I'm the faculty director at the Stanford Center for Racial Justice, and we have, we're on the social. So probably go to that, and I have a book coming out about college and the role of college in American life and what that means for African Americans and others. That'll be out in 2026. It'll be called The Miseducation of America. So I'm very excited about that, and look forward to being with you again when that
Yes,
comes
please
out.
come back. I'd love to. Thank you so much. Tavis is back. Tavis Smiley is live in the studio, and he's got a heck of a show for you today. You definitely don't want to miss this. I will see you tomorrow. Keon Harold will be in. Wow, it's going to be a great show. Dr. Melina Abdullah will be here. My colleague, she'll be live in the studio, I believe. So we're going to be mixing it up tomorrow. Like my mama, Diane DiPrima, used to say, history is now. Like I always say, we're making it together. Until next time, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Chicago Teachers Union says the state owes CPS $1.6 billion. Governor Pritzker says Illinois can't fill this year's $734 million budget gap. Here's Black CTU President Stacey Davis Gates.
All of the schools in the city of Chicago are owed $1.6 billion. That creates chaos every summer.
The school board